Hi everyone, welcome. Today's dish is awesome. It's complete. It's all in one pot. It involves chicken and pasta. What could be better than that? Oh yes, no chopping, and it's creamy and delicious. So let's get started. I'm going to make this dish with half a chicken cut up. I'm going to use the back for flavor. I'm using the leg, the thigh, and what I did was I cut the breast into 3 parts so they will cook evenly. Right here. And the only thing I left the skin on was the wing. I'm also going to use that little part of the wing here for flavor, and I'll remove it later. I rinsed this chicken well. I let it soak in filtered water with 1 teaspoon of vinegar for 10 minutes. And then I rinsed it again. And now I'm going to season it. If you follow my channel, you know I don't skimp on seasonings. I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon of Lawry's seasoned salt, 1 tablespoon of Lawry's garlic salt, 1 tablespoon of complete seasoning, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, half a tablespoon of paprika, 1 tablespoon of Savory. I love this seasoning. It doesn't contain any salt, but it's great to flavor chicken with. And of course, freshly ground black pepper to taste. I'm going to mix this up. Everything is coated in seasoning, and I'm going to let it rest on the counter for about 15 minutes and let the seasonings work a little bit. If you prefer to cover it with cling wrap and leave it in the fridge overnight, or just in the fridge for a couple of hours before you cook it, that's great too. I'm going to start by preheating my 11-inch saute pan on medium heat. My pan is preheated, and I'm going to add a little bit of canola oil to the bottom. Very little. Try to distribute the oil a little bit to get the entire surface coated without adding too much oil to it. I'm going to start adding the chicken pieces in there to cook on low heat now. The one with the skin I'm going to put in the center. Piece of breast. Remember, I cut the breast into 3 pieces. It's a big breast, everybody. And a little piece of wing in the center also. I have a little bit of seasoning left in the bowl that I'm going to save for later. The smell is already incredible, everybody. It's not even cooked yet. And the seasonings I used is just for now. Later on, when I start the sauce and I cook it, I'm going to taste it at the end. And if it needs anything else, I'll add to it. It's better than over salted in the beginning because then there's no turning back. I'm going to add a little bit of water and slowly cook it. Increase the heat just a little bit since I added water. I'm trying to get this broth to start, but slowly. I'm going to go ahead and flip it. See how it's a little white, but not brown? I don't want it to be brown, but I am extracting the flavor from this chicken slowly. This is the base for the pasta sauce right here. And I'm going to cover the pan. I'll lower the heat and let it cook like that a little bit. Look how it's going now. A little bit of sauce started. This is the time that I'm going to keep the chicken around the edges. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of tomato paste. 1, 2. And 1 chicken bouillon. And I'm going to dissolve the bouillon here along with the tomato paste and fry the 2 in the center of the pan. Let everybody fry together. Add a little water. I have 4 cups of water here. I'm just adding from that a little bit at a time. Now it's the time to add the remaining dry seasonings I had in a bowl. No, the one that the chicken marinated in. That back is going to give it good flavor, everybody. And don't worry, this chicken pasta is not going to have any bones in it. I'm only cooking it with the bones because the bones are flavor. I'm going to add the remaining water. I used about a half a cup, maybe a cup of water in the beginning to help the broth get started here. I'm going to add more water, 3 more cups. So it's a total of 7 cups of water. And I'm going to stir it up a little bit to distribute all the seasonings throughout the pan and all the chicken pieces. I'm going to put it on medium high to get it going. And I am going to cover it and watch it closely. Once it starts boiling, I will turn it down. It's boiling now. I'm going to stir it up a little bit. Turn the heat down to low medium. Cover it and let it cook for 1 hour. So now that the chicken has cooked, I'm going to remove it from the pan. Put it on this plate to cool. I tasted the broth. It is to die for. It's perfect. It doesn't need anything else. It's right on the money. The way I want it to be. If you only want to use the breast meat, you may use both breasts. But the dark meat has a lot of flavor. And that's why I like to use half a chicken. I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to strain this broth into a large bowl. Okay, here we go. Okay. See, I don't need that. The little pieces of meat, yes. But all that, those chunks of seasoning, no, I don't need that in my final dish. I am going to return the broth to the pan. The strained broth, which is absolutely delicious, everybody. I need to bring this broth back to a rolling boil. So I turn the heat up to high. I'm going to cover the pan and I'm going to stand by and wait for it to start boiling again. Now that the broth is boiling again, I am going to add the pasta. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I'm going to add half a pound of thin spaghetti. I'm not going to cut in half. I'm just going to add like this. And when you add pasta, gotta add to boiling liquid. In our case here, a broth, a delicious chicken broth. And you have to stir it immediately. You can't just walk away because it will stick. So I'm going to cook this pasta in the broth. My chicken is cooling. It smells so good, everybody. This is amazing. I've been making this dish for many, many years. I'll lower the heat and place the lid on there a little bit like this, kind of open. Let the pasta cook, and I'm going to debone the chicken. The pasta has been cooking for a while, about 10 minutes, and it's pretty concentrated in there, that broth. So I'm going to add half a cup of water. The pasta is cooked. I'm going to stir it a little bit. I'm going to add half a cup of cream. Now, you can leave it like this, put the chicken back in, and eat it like that. But it's a creamy chicken. So I'm going to add a half a cup of heavy cream, half a cup of sour cream, and some table cream as well. I love table cream, like a good Brazilian. It's at the milk section at the supermarket, right next to the evaporated milk. It's this right here. I love it. Brazilians cook with this a lot. So I grew up eating foods made with that. Not only savory foods, but also desserts. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Bring the heat up a bit. I'm going to add the chicken. See how I cut it into bite-sized pieces? I'm going to finish this up. Look how wonderful this is. Where are you going to find good pasta like this? In any restaurant, you know? I don't. This is how I've made for years. This is how I like it. You may modify it to suit your own taste. If you have fresh grated Parmesan cheese, that's great. Romano, whatever you like. I like this right here. If you follow my channel, you know I do. I love this. How nice this is. Creamy, chickeny, delicious. All the kids are gonna love this. There's no onion, no garlic. Picky eaters will love this. It's pure pasta, chicken, and the well-seasoned chicken creamy broth. Creamy goodness. Isn't that beautiful? Oh yes. Get a little chicken. And if you know me by now, I'm going to use a little cilantro. And of course, let's not forget the most important thing, a little more Parmesan cheese. Just a little bit here and there. How gorgeous is this? Look at that. So creamy, chickeny, delicious, everyone. Well seasoned. A little chicken. I hope you make it. I hope you love it. I hope your family loves it. Creamy goodness. Thank you for watching.